Hi folks, so we continue with the final of the Seven Kingdoms event. As you can see, we have two Targaryen teams in the final, once again, Bastards, Dragon Swords and Mercenaries on one side against Queen Elizabeth's Bastards, who are the defending champions here, and they actually have a match point. So game 2, let's see if we have this updated now. Yes, so Francis won the first one. He's been playing remarkably well in this tournament, better than we are used to from him. And now they have Rupert and Henry to finish the job, and Henry's playing next. He is the worst one in this tournament, but still doing pretty well, to be fair, against SirDuck. So let me show you actually the other team as well. They have been playing super well. They all basically have one loss. Well, Tom lost the second one in this final, but hardly lost the game between them. So it's going to be this three companies deck. They are mostly the same. Let's see if there's anything specific. So okay, Dohaeris versus Morghulis dilemma. This one has Dohaeris. Has quite a lot of econ, has two dedicated econ plots, so something's missing, I guess, to do that. There's no return to the fields. I'm not sure what else is usually in there. Yeah, locations pretty standard, events pretty standard. 2 copies of Shadow of the East, not the best matchup for that. And in the characters, there's not going to be anything too weird, I don't think. No Harden Halfmeister, who was one of the key cards in the deck that was King of Swiss at Stalek actually. And it's up against Sea of Blood. So this one, as has been the case recently in most of these decks, has gone down to Mad King's Command as the single reset. There's no First Snow anymore, there's no Harris, so that's very much in Free Company's favor, because they do like their Mad King's Command, right? They can increase the number of characters quite a bit. It does have return to the fields to counter the Harris, which is not that amazing. There's some 2 claimers here. Events are pretty typical. 2 Waking the Dragon, I guess, is slightly more than we are used to. There's 2 Shadow of the East, and on the other side there are, of course... oh no, there's nothing. There's not even a Seized. Okay. So that's completely dead. That's sad for Henry. And the characters, we won't find anything interesting here either. So it has Core Khal Drogo, has the usual Rakaro, the usual Jogo. 3 Dennis, which has been important now that Aegon is gone, to give that deck another punch so that they can rush it a bit if suddenly there's 3 or 4 Blood Riders and it's immediate pressure. So it's supposed to be starting. Perfect timing. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've seen in the first one, which was Sea of Blood from the other side against Aloof, that Sea of Blood actually got aggroed and had nothing. It won't get aggroed against Free Companies, that's never gonna be a thing, but Sea of Blood has a plan, right? Kill everything off, or alternatively you can rush it a little bit with the right cards, but I don't see that happening. And the Free Companies, of course, has to resist that, and then they have way more power gain, and at some point they'll have like 3 characters with 5 or 6 strength coming in challenges phase, and just not really losing challenges. But okay, it's Sea of Blood, right? You can get overwhelming numbers bringing in 2 Khalasars, and then it's big swings happening. So we have actually, this looks like it might be high quality. Let's Summerfist opening on both sides, but we have Boom on one side, which is key, and no Seized, as we said. And we have Marine and Bank on setup, which is also amazing. And Koto comes in before Free Companies can do anything with Begging Brother. Well, it can, because it had to put gold on the bank, so you might as well do that before any cancels, which cause you to throw cards away, Missandei goes into the discard pile, of course, and Koto doesn't come in. Ooh, okay, going really big and strong from the start, but the thing is, Free Communist deck can say, okay, maybe my round 1 board might be getting killed, but I have Marine, I have something to put into shadows, stuff that gets in the discard pile is gonna be replayed. And okay, no gold to start with, which means you have to first do military to get really the gold to do any serious damage. How much stuff is coming? Is there gonna be plan to just put enough claims? So because it's 2 claim military, right, with Kalasar and March to the Wall follow up, but at the moment it's not no Tyrion getting March or anything like that. Always the dilemma with these decks, at which point do you trigger Mirin? With 8 gold left and going for 3 blind cards. Yeah. Well, is he thinking, can I stop the win by 5 on military? Can't really count for Womb either way. So it's a lot of stuff coming, and if there was Murgulis, you just pull the trigger because there's one of the Kalsars and 2 Blood Riders that are 3 copies in the deck, so that would lead to dead draws for sure for Rightwaydown. But with the Harris, you can play it and it leaves Kalasar and Rakaro in play, presumably, right? So it's not amazing. But if you don't, you get this pressure every round, and we could get next round Fury, or we could get Vanquish. Okay, Missandei is in play to get killed with that, but still. Maybe it's a bit early for the Vanquish plans actually, because yeah, it's a 2 claim plot where you can do military, but it's a waste on the power challenge now, so early in the game. So remember, Derek has to win this one so that we get a decider. If Henry wins, it's already over. It's a good start for him, but I still think the matchup is not that fun. Yeah, the problem is playing the key cards onto the board with all that pressure. Just gonna do Aegon in marshalling, which means Vargo will presumably put some gold on this golden company. Vargo is limit per phase, so yeah, it's pretty crazy with that. There was gold to do Aegon in challenges, but I guess there's no huge benefit. So bestows 1, which will be used to keep it in play, and then 1 which will stay on it for the renown, right? That's how it works. Yeah. And Vargo still has 1 gold to put on the Begging Brother if needed. It's not needed right now. And just a big army comes in with no added effect really. So and both have late Summer Feast, which means at this point Derek cannot trigger Marine even if he wanted to. because cards just go if he loses challenges. Yeah, so the most important thing I guess would be trigger Sea of Blood. Get an event, maybe a Consuming Flames, which puts constant pressure on characters. There's no gold for any surprises, so I think with no Intimidate, best bet for Derek is just eat this military, claim 2 and then see if Vargo and Golden Company can get some power. You have to claim something though, so it's not gonna put any on the Begging Brother any gold because I think it's getting killed here. Otherwise you might want to cancel that Recaro trigger, but it actually hits Shadow of the East, which is really good. And Overwhelming Numbers is the event. Okay, now not really exposed to March because Aegon wants to be marched anyway. But yeah, the Harris plan is always a bit awkward with these decks because Golden Company is 5. 2 Golden Companies are great together, then Vargo survives it with Tyrion but can't survive it with Golden Company, and Darion Harris doesn't survive it with anything basically, so it's difficult to carry the Renown through the Harris. So I understand the idea to put Morgulis in. I wonder if the Stalek deck that was King of Swiss had Morgulis. I think it did, right? The Harris is slightly more common, I think, these days. Yeah, now it gets slightly awkward, right? If there's something useful there, you might want to defend it, but whoever's winning challenges giving the cards away. Plus, now there is a token, so if you get Aegon burned with Consuming Flames, then you get March, and then it's real trouble. But he puts Vargo in, that makes sense. Vargo will grab himself Renown as well. And I think Golden Company will at this point just do power, right? Does military, interesting. I mean, there's free power with Aegon, but it's risky. I guess Plaza still there also. Military might just get defended and you get your Late Summer Feast card, possibly, right? Yeah. To put Aegon in, it's unnecessary risk, I think. Just gonna do it with Vargo, he has Renown. And Derek has decided that Vargo is gonna grab the power rather than Golden Company. Not sure there's much Henry can do here, really. If he can, is it worth it? Okay. Ooh. The one that's properly in play. So he's going back to hand. And what else came in? Honor Guard came in, right? Okay. Now we have a board that is a bit better with the Harris, but 2 cards from hand go to reserve, so I guess to win power there was no... He could have stood the Honor Guard, could he? Not sure how much strength it had at that point actually. 2 Honor Guards go. They can be pretty decent with overwhelming numbers later. If there's some challenge that you need to push through. So Sea of Blood actually stays ahead, but I think Free Companies did really well here. Have Fury, so that can basically mean 3 climb military with the Calasser there, into Loan, which will mean lots of potential defense. And I can do the Loans now, right? He just opens Late Summer Feast and Loan because Iron Bank's there is nothing gonna touch it. So if you just leave it, this round goes to 4 and then next round goes to 8 and you are set for the rest of the game, ignoring any unbridled generosities that get played in the meantime. Recaro doesn't come back, it's Jogo. Recaro might come in, challenges with the plot. This is one of the ways to keep characters safe from resets, right? To jump them in with this plot. Safely goes back to hand. So reserve again though. And we'll spend the token if he wants to play any events. Loop is useful, assuming he won't get burned at any point. He shouldn't really. Can even get that gold back if he needs it. And now are we triggering Mirin? Because this board's not enough. Mm-hmm. So we have Second Sons currently, but that's actually one of the better ones. It's really high strength, and if it dies, it's not a problem. It's good to have it in rotation though, but yeah. And it works well with Tyrion, does it? Not Golden Company, the Second Sons. So it will just go back to the discard pile. Won't attempt to go back to the deck. Tyrion has some slightly weird interaction, different interaction than most other Tar cards, right? Gold Company can't save it because it's not going to hand. Okay, Danny comes in, Recaro stays in hand. And are we fizzling on the boom? We are, okay. That's harsh, but it is what it is. So Tyrion comes in with just the Vargo gold, which is a bit on the weak side again. 1 gold left, and I don't think there's anything you can do with 1 gold specifically. So the shadow cards will be 3, and the event is 2. You can use it for bestow, I guess. Have now also golden company in the discard pile. But yeah, I think you have to do Harris first and then think about an additional golden company. Unless you plan to win the game without ever the Harrissing, but that's gonna be rough. Then he has 2 Blood Riders. I think they're both going into military, and there's an overwhelming numbers in hand. They're not both going into military, okay? Three claim. Seems like you have to kill one of the guys in the discard pile. Is he gonna try to defend? I think that's... I mean, we know there's an overwhelming numbers, right? So currently he could defend with Second Sons. But that just means everything's gonna be knelt and you're still gonna lose, and possibly by 5 if those 2 honor guards come in. But okay. Plaza's still there. Honor guards, and there's a Hago which you can also put in if he's enough to trigger Danny. Well, he defends actually with just enough to stop Sea of Blood and basically forces Henry to do this for the Sea of Blood trigger, but I think he's also doing it for the Danny trigger, right? Just surprising that Koto's not in the challenge. I guess he wants to do the intrigue really. It's the 2 claim intrigue. If there's no more resistance after stuff is killed. Ooh, okay. No honor guards. Rakaro comes in, so he is also gonna claim a card, and this increases the claim to 4, so now I think Vargo Dupe will have to go. Ooh, and something else. His golden company gonna have to go. Because Aegon you want to keep alive, although we do have close call also in this deck. And another copy of Aegon goes. There's consuming, which means Tyrion and Aegon can't go into a challenge safely at this point. That's pretty rough. But it doesn't get you to 15 power if the opponent has good marine triggers and an iron bank that's unlimited gold, so these characters we still haven't even seen. And he does pillage, which is interesting. Might have that just set on automatic. Pillages Dario, which actually now means he's in rotation with Tyrion's ability. That might backfire. And Aegon's just a lord, okay. Yeah, he's gonna try to get to claim intrigue now. It's tricky to defend with Tyrion. Has to defend with Vargo, and you're not gonna realistically... Ah, okay, just stands him. Okay, there's nothing to defend, I guess. Try to get his power in a different challenge. So what do you do with Vargo? You have keywords around, so okay, stealth, you have renown on that golden company, but you also have insight on Danny. Just one econ location for Henry, so Danny and Jogo are going back to hand, and he's gonna be 3 over reserve. So next round it's gonna be difficult to marshal stuff. And I think Matkin's command might be coming anyway soon. We could do Harris also because I mean with Kalasar and Koto there something has to go there as well, and then you Matkin's command. Golden Company goes for power. Successfully. Vargo's gonna go with stealth on the intrigue. See if he can hit consuming flames. And Tyrion's not going in a challenge, I don't think. See if you have a situation where there's some power on the faction card and you do a 4 claim like he did on the military, that's a huge swing on the power challenges, but in early games it doesn't really work, and he does hit consuming. So lots of events already gone. We have 1 Viking Dragon, 1 Overwhelming, 1 Consuming. Well, I say lots. And we have 5-4. Jogo is still in play. Jogo was just marshaled. Okay, so has a bit more board. And also Jogo and Karasar for the Harris are not so bad. And now we go March. Yeah, that's now gonna lose the Golden Company, right? And still Derek doesn't do Harris, which I find surprising. Okay, he can give himself targets for Tyrion, I was gonna say, and Flea Bottom has to resurrect Aegon. How did Aegon die? Did he claim him? Yeah, okay. Fair enough, with close call there. It's not disaster. 2 are gone though, right? So just 1 copy left, but he has 2 cards in shadows. It must be Aegon in shadows, which you then keep for Matkin's command, unless you need to bring some explosive board presence. And the 3rd location, so now it's not so bad for the resets for Henry. Problem is Matkins command in 2 decks. It's 6 locations. Okay, you lose the 2 econ ones, right, with Bank there. Although sometimes then if you play the low gold plots, Iron Bank is useless in challenges, so you just have to carry whatever gold you had, and if it's 3, that's enough for that 1 shadow card and nothing else. Yeah, King's Road you can just spend. And this is pretty key stuff, to be fair. Brings in another body. At the moment it's just a begging brother. And Tyrion brings another body and finds a dupe as well, so has still a pretty decent chance to resist the high claim. Unless there's another overwhelming. One more card goes in shadows. Keeps 3 gold, and Found another unbridled which can refill. I don't think you need to do the bang necessarily, you just do Vargo, Tyrion and Flea Bottom, I was gonna say. He has still the agenda also. You have to keep refilling then these cards. If Flea Bottom is drained, you have to do it again, so I thought just do Flea Bottom here. Because, okay, Iron Bank 7 or 8 is at this point not that huge difference. Another military body comes in, and now do you just put everything in, see how much damage you do, or are we focusing now more on the power challenges already? Okay. That's quite a lot. I don't think the 3 gold can stop that, but I mean, okay, it could. Aegon into Dario and Flea Bottom. Okay, Flea Bottom doesn't have a military icon. Tyrion's ability can put 5 or 6 strength in. But just bringing this to die, it's to claim at the moment, which is Begging Brother and Vargodup again. Begging Brother will be alive to stop the Recaro trigger for what it's worth. So what's the Dany situation? She's in hand, right? Yeah, he has a lot of Blood Riders, but 2 are out of this challenge. I was just thinking if he could cheat Dany into play, he could get quick 3 power if it's overwhelming, even 4 power, because he has Hago in there also, right? But yeah, now Begging Brothers there to cancel anyway. Maybe wants to keep that Vargo dupe. March is gone from the other side, so duped Vargo and Tyrion would be good to Harris, I think. Well, is it time for Blood of My Blood? No, it's time for another overwhelming. And yeah, it's a little bit late. This was a good chance to do a Danny. Then I think Begging Brother would cancel that instead of Recaro. I think the board will be slightly more reduced. I mean, you could still have two the truck is overwhelming, and then you keep in hand. Could even play his own Mad King's Command. Still has Vanquished on it. Yeah. Plaza is standing, just does a 6 gold power. Tyrion still slightly afraid, I think, to go into the challenge. Yeah. And that does damage. What's the last card? There was another Aegon. And Brave Companions doesn't trigger when it comes into play like this, but Bridled, okay, now that should really go on that flea bottom now. Use the agenda to put gold on Tyrion. Strength goes up for Brave Companions, but it's not doing much, I don't think. He's just gonna leave this intrigue challenge. I think one of the small ones will have to go into the power challenge to try to win it. Is Var gonna do intrigue first, see if he can hit something. He's gonna start military actually. And we do have an expendable Blood Rider there. Start on the only intrigue icon so that Plaza can get it, I guess. He must have stealth on the power then as well if he could stand Vargo with Plaza, but was there a way to get any insight? I don't think there's insight in place, so nothing, okay. He's not risking the power icons. Yeah, Plaza's not so fun with an empty hand. So Brave Companions goes to hand and it can come back with the trigger, which is a really good trigger to be fair. Especially with that Iron Bank so huge. So now it's tricky for Henry. He doesn't have the econ to repopulate, so he's counting on the womb triggers and on just doing the damage with events. Didn't even find Blood of My Blood yet. And I think it's gonna be the Harris. So what does he do? Does he go Vanquish? Does he go Mad King's Command? I think Mad King's Command with 2 cards in Shadows is a disaster. Goes Return to try to get more cards. And loses initiative, but Derek doesn't care. Puts him first anyway. It doesn't matter, I guess. You sack anyway, just the same, because Mad King's Command is delayed. It's not like playing that into the Harris. So as long as there's no huge aggro happening, going second here on Mad King's Command with possibly Harry coming out of Shadows is a really good option. Has 2 cards though, I wonder what they are. It's not Aegon now, because we see all 3 in play or discard pile, so I doubt he would put 2 Harrys. He could though. I mean, if you get it with Merin, you might as well. Otherwise, it's lost. Is there another shadow card? Might be one Orbit Bounder. Just gonna try to find dupes with this. Tyrion, another Brave Companions, and Harry, so okay. And now I think Harry might go to Shadows. And you keep the 3 shadow cards and no cards in hand, but then no, Plaza doesn't work. Doesn't fully spend the Iron Bank at all, but keeps 3 gold only. And didn't even spend the King's Road on Brave Companions. I'm sure it's gonna go now. Good for Tyrion, bad for Flea Bottom. Could Flea Bottom go? Somehow doubt it. Okay, full Iron Bank if there's something. Another Tyrion still can go into the challenge though. Can absorb military all day long, but one consuming gets him. Market doesn't trigger, so I think Market's gonna stay now for Matkins command. And what kind of damage can it do? Well, Jorah's now the only flea bottom target, so you can try to get that. You can't get you can't remove Tyrion's targets. Also use it to put his own events back into the deck. But I think if, well, let's see first of all if flea bottom stays. It's low on targets really, so maybe that's one time you don't keep. Flea bottom is the one he keeps. He doesn't keep Plaza, and he doesn't keep the King's Road. Goes back in the deck. Could have spent it. And Market's still there. How about first action? You remove that Jorah. No. Keeps getting these little guys. And Jorah comes in. I forget if there's Nightmares also in the Free Companies deck. If there is, then I think Womb is too important. And there was no window for Market between Jorah getting discarded, right, and Mad King's command resolving. And then yeah, you'd either do that as first action or flip bottom triggers. One stealth still there, and the Claim Race army still there. And now he has quite a bit of of the threat from hand as well with 3 gold. Hmm. Military without the claim race army, so called. Raiding Kalasar 13 might be able to defend that, but it's again risky. So there is now, or there was another overwhelming numbers in rotation. We can pretty much assume it's still there, right? Can force him to spend it. If he does, maybe he doesn't care. If you don't force him to spend it, he might do it on the power though, which hurts more. Brings him close to victory. Well, defends the win by 5, it's 1 claim. Yeah, and Henry doesn't care. Does he stand Jogo though? Which one do you lose here? Ooh, the dupe doesn't lose any. Okay, so one goes to the. They both go to the deck, do they? Yeah. There's no way to introduce Khal Drogo into the game, I don't think. So, slightly surprised there. Maybe actually the plan is for Harry to come out, and this is a pretty big body, right? That Harry can stand and give it a power icon. What's the last card in Shadows? Harry costs 3, so something that has to be 0, but I doubt he'd put Shadow the East there. So there's no purpose really. And yeah, he does stand Jogo. Now he has 2 Blood Riders and a 2 claim plot, and if it's Danny and Raiding Kalasar coming in with overwhelming numbers, that's 4 claim, and Danny triggers for 2, which can get him to 14. There's a lot of defense, but I don't think you can get past overwhelming numbers. Ah, just opposing, okay. If the last card in hand is Blood of My Blood to fetch Koholo, I think that's 15 power. Three claim, not 4 claim. That's not so urgent then. He will be getting the challenges back now. But good cards go to hand. do all three and get some renown in the process. If he cares about it, is it gonna be, like I said, trying to win the game without ever playing the Harris? Now it's got a bit of a board, but it's fake at this point because two cards go back to the bottom. Harry stays, but you don't necessarily want Harry to stay. He jumps really nice. Although if you want the renown on him, then he has to stay. Still, we now know two cards in hand. Is there consuming flames? It's Kalasar. Power is the most important one. And if there is consuming, it's gonna be played, I think. But then hand is out of cards. Could be blood on my blood to just win it on defense. Costs him another card though. all of these Blood Riders. He could cheat them in, just stick them all in the same challenge with Danny. He's a bit short. Now I'm interested in what the plots will be here. I think Derek's kind of got into a situation now where his board's doing pretty well, apart from Jogo having stealth. So he has the hair is still there. Brand the Builder still hasn't been played also. Mad King's Command from this side, Vanquish is still available. March. Yeah, makes sense. No good March soak. And I think Harry goes and the other Harry comes on Shadows, right? Yeah, still goes second. I mean, he defends everything, but Jogo's stealth is the big problem. Because he's a 9 strength guy. If he just goes into the power challenge with Kalasar and you can't stop it, it's just over. So we know Holo, right? But if you marshal that and then there's a begging brother lurking about, that's a disaster. But might not have anything else. And it is Mad King's Command, so I think these three might just stay. Then you try to bring more stuff in. So still nothing much for flea bottom. You could marine a target for yourself, maybe. You have to keep everything for the shadow card, but there's 14 on the Iron Bank anyway, so. And he does marine a second Sun's away. One market. I found another shadow card, but I think 3 is all you can really have here, so no magic. Everything duped can do military pressure, has to try to win with power. Vargo can try to give himself stealth so that can always defend. Let's see, so Jogo is now what, 9? That's 15, and this guy 20. He's gonna do the thingy this time to remove Second Sons. Septalemore is the new one in there. Ah, and this time he finds a good one. If they can all do power, the tournament's over. Stealth, yeah, the one that Harry can give an icon to. This has to be defended unless there's nightmares going about. I don't think he has that in the deck even. Dario, he's gonna try to grab an icon, right? Septalemore and Harry from Shadows. Did he find an Aegon to put into Shadows? I don't think they have enough between them. Yeah. It's over. Doesn't have enough defense, and I thought he had it actually. I mean, there was not that much stuff happening from the Sea of Blood deck, but I don't know. Maybe there's the Harry's chance that he didn't take, and when the game ends, you always have to say 12 gold on the Iron Bank. Had to use the agenda to re-bestow Flea Bottom and stuff like that. I mean, what's that gold for? Why isn't like Vargo always... okay, he was marshaled early to be fair, but I mean, he could have grabbed all the gold because the Iron Bank's so big at the end. He could have competed for dominance more with leftover gold and stuff like that, so... I don't know. These bestow decks... I suck at playing them, but even the good players, they always seem to under bestow. They bestow 1 or whatever, or they bestow nothing, and then they move gold around. And Iron Bank is giant, and just think sometimes you could have invested when you had a chance. But yeah. Then he grabbed some. To be fair, I mean, there's so much defense coming now that unless Rightwaydown closed here, you would find it more and more difficult, and if there was more Begging Brother, had to claim one though. Because early on, of course, you are slightly more vulnerable to this military pressure. So the last game is now dead, which means won't bother streaming anything, and we have the Queen Elizabeth's Bastards defending their title rather surprisingly before Rupert even plays. So congratulations to them. Let's see if Palpa has picked them to win this week, to take the Pick'em's title. I think, what is it, 2:30 in the morning? I think we can call it here. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.